Like many of you, I found the scenes that came out of our nation's capital yesterday to be shocking, dismaying, frustrating, angering. And as I wrestled with those emotions, I immediately started to think through whose fault it was. I began to try to figure out who I could blame, who I could point fingers at and make myself feel better about it. That really didn't lead to anything good. It didn't lead to anything helpful. Then this morning I read a blog post by a pastor who I really respect. I've read a lot of his stuff. I appreciate his thoughts on church and on leadership, on preaching. His name is Carey Nieuwhof. He's a pastor in Canada, and he had some fabulous thoughts about what our response should be to what we saw yesterday. What I appreciate about his thoughts is that his thoughts didn't end or begin with thoughts of politics or voting or activism, but it began with me. What have I done? How do I interact with people? How do I use my words? And so I want to do a couple of things as we kind of process through what we saw. The first of those is to encourage you to pray for our nation, to pray for our leaders, to pray for those who are bad actors, to pray for those who are causing issues. We need to spend time in prayer. Prayer for them, prayer for yourself. That God would reveal himself to you and would reveal those things that maybe you need to do differently. Pray that you would become more and more of a person, as it says in the book of Psalms, a person who seeks peace and who pursues it. Thirdly, watch how you use your words. That's really ultimately the tenor of the article. I'm including a link to the article with this video just so you can read through it and think through those thoughts yourself. Let's be people who seek peace and pursue it. Let's be people who bring healing and hope to a culture that obviously needs it. I saw someone, I think was in that same article, Carey Nieuwhof said, our world needs an alternative, or our culture needs an alternative to itself, not an echo of itself. And so let's be people who do something different than what the world is doing right now. And we can do that as we get together as believers. We get together in life groups, whether you do that in person or online. We do that as we gather together on Sunday mornings, whether you do it in person here under our canopy or here in our parking lot, in your car, or you're joining us online. We can gather together, we can pray, we can focus on Jesus, think about him, and think about how he'd have us to live our lives. And so this Sunday, I'm super excited to get together and to do that once again, to worship together, to take communion, to open the Word together. We're starting a new series. We're looking at the promises of God and looking to see how the promises of God, as it says in 2 Corinthians chapter 1, the promises of God find their yes in Jesus. That in Jesus, the promises of God are yes for you. And through Jesus, you and I, we say our amen. We say, yes, I believe that's for me. And when we see those two things together, we can have huge hope for the future. So as we come into 2021, we want to take some time and look at the good things that God promises to us and together say our amen to those. So everyone, we love you. We're praying for you. We know that there are those who are frustrated with everything that's going on. And so in the midst of all of that, let's be people who seek peace, who pursue it, who guard our words, use our words for healing rather than for harm, and who take our next step in following Jesus together in unity for his glory and his kingdom's sake. Everyone, thanks for watching. God bless.